A healthy relationship is built on mutual love, respect, and effort. Both partners should contribute equally to emotional support, communication, and shared experiences. However, not all relationships maintain this balance. One-sided relationships, where one person constantly gives while the other takes, can be emotionally exhausting and deeply unfulfilling. These relationships often leave one partner feeling neglected, unappreciated, and alone, even when they are physically together with their significant other. Unfortunately, recognizing a one-sided relationship is not always easy, especially when emotions are involved. At the beginning of a relationship, things may seem perfect. Your partner might have showered you with affection, made time for you, and shown enthusiasm in the relationship. But over time, their effort may have faded while you continued to invest the same energy, hoping things would go back to how they once were. The truth is, love should not feel like a constant struggle where only one person is making an effort to keep things together. When a relationship is one-sided, it often results in frustration, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion for the person who is doing all the work. One of the clearest signs of a one-sided relationship is the lack of reciprocity. If you are always the one initiating conversations, making plans, apologizing first, or compromising while your partner remains passive, it's an indication that they are not as invested as you are. In a balanced relationship, both individuals should naturally want to communicate, spend time together, and support one another. However, when one partner stops prioritizing the other, it creates an emotional gap that can be difficult to bridge. Another painful aspect of a one-sided relationship is the absence of emotional support. A loving partner should be there to celebrate your successes, comfort you during difficult times, and genuinely care about your well-being. But if your partner dismisses your feelings, rarely asks about your day, or shows little interest in your dreams and aspirations, it can feel as though you are emotionally alone in the relationship. Over time, this can damage your self-esteem and make you question whether you are asking for too much when, in reality, you are only seeking the bare minimum of emotional connection. Loneliness is another major consequence of being in a one-sided relationship. You may feel like you are in a partnership on paper, but in reality, you are emotionally alone. The lack of communication, intimacy, and shared effort can make you feel distant from your partner, even when you are physically together. Love should make you feel supported and valued, not like you are constantly fighting for attention, affection, or basic consideration. Recognizing a one-sided relationship is the first step toward making a change. Whether that means addressing the imbalance, setting boundaries, or walking away from an emotionally draining dynamic, it's important to remember that you deserve a relationship where your love, time, and effort are appreciated. True love should be a partnership, not a one-person struggle to keep things from falling apart. 1. You're always the one. Initiating contact. In a one-sided relationship, one of the most obvious signs is that you are always the one initiating contact. Whether it's texting, calling, or making plans, the effort to stay connected falls entirely on your shoulders. You find yourself constantly reaching out, waiting for replies, and hoping they will reciprocate the same level of enthusiasm. However, their responses may feel distant, delayed, or sometimes even non-existent. Over time, this can create feelings of frustration, loneliness, and self-doubt as you start questioning your importance in their life. When communication is not mutual, it signals an imbalance in emotional investment. A healthy relationship involves both partners making an effort to connect, share, and communicate. If you stop initiating conversations, you might notice that days or even weeks go by without hearing from them, reinforcing the realization that they are not as committed to maintaining the bond as you are. This pattern can be emotionally exhausting because it places all the responsibility on you to keep the relationship alive. This lack of effort from the other person can also indicate disinterest, emotional detachment, or even a lack of respect for your time and feelings. It's natural to want to feel valued and appreciated in a relationship, and when that isn't happening, it can lead to self-doubt and insecurity. Recognizing this behavior is important because it helps you understand where you stand and whether it's worth investing your energy into a relationship that may not be as fulfilling as you deserve. 2. They rarely make time for you. In a one-sided relationship, another clear sign is that your partner rarely makes time for you. No matter how busy life gets, people prioritize what truly matters to them. If you constantly find yourself waiting for them to fit you into their schedule while you always make time for them, it's a sign of imbalance. You might notice that they frequently cancel plans, show little enthusiasm about meeting up, or seem too occupied with other commitments, yet they always manage to make time for friends, work, or hobbies. When someone genuinely values a relationship, they make an effort to be present, no matter how hectic life becomes. However, if you are always the one adjusting your schedule, compromising, or waiting for them to be available, it can feel emotionally draining. It may leave you feeling like an afterthought rather than a priority. Even when they do spend time with you, it might feel rushed, distracted, or more out of obligation than genuine desire. This behavior can indicate a lack of emotional investment or interest in nurturing the relationship. When someone truly cares, they don't just make excuses, they make the effort. Over time, constantly feeling like you are the only one trying to create meaningful moments can lead to feelings of rejection, loneliness, and frustration. Recognizing this pattern allows you to evaluate whether the relationship is fulfilling, or if you are holding on to someone who isn't willing to put in the same level of effort as you. 3. Your efforts aren't reciprocated. In a one-sided relationship, one of the most painful realizations is that your efforts aren't being reciprocated. You go out of your way to make them happy, support them, and show love, yet they don't put in the same level of effort for you. Whether it's through small gestures, emotional support, or simply being there when they need you, you continuously give without receiving much in return. This imbalance can leave you feeling unappreciated and exhausted, as if your love and care are being taken for granted. A healthy relationship is built on mutual effort, where both partners contribute to each other's happiness and well-being. However, when you're the only one trying, making plans, checking in, and showing affection, it starts to feel less like a partnership and more like a one-person effort. Over time, this lack of reciprocation can lead to resentment, frustration, and self-doubt. You might even start questioning if you're asking for too much when, in reality, you're only seeking the basic respect and attention that a loving relationship should naturally provide. When your efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated, it's a sign that the other person isn't as emotionally invested as you are. Love should never feel like a one-way street. If they truly care, they will match your energy and make you feel valued. Recognizing this pattern is important because it helps you understand whether the relationship is worth holding on to or if you deserve someone who puts in just as much effort as you do. 4. They prioritize others over you. In a one-sided relationship, you may notice that your partner consistently prioritizes others over you. Whether it's friends, family, work, or even hobbies, everything seems to come before you. While it's completely normal and healthy to have a life outside of a relationship, it becomes a problem when you are always placed last. You might feel like you have to fight for their attention, or that they only make time for you when it's convenient for them. A loving and committed partner makes an effort to balance their priorities, ensuring that you feel valued and important in their life. But if they constantly cancel plans, rarely include you in their social circle, or always seem too busy when you need them, it can leave you feeling neglected and unimportant. It's especially hurtful when they make time for others, but never seem to do the same for you. This behavior suggests that they don't see the relationship as a priority, even though you do. Being in a relationship should make you feel cherished and respected, not like an afterthought. If you constantly feel like you are begging for their time and attention, while they effortlessly make time for others, it's a strong sign of emotional imbalance. You deserve to be with someone who values your presence and considers you an important part of their life, not someone who only remembers you when they have nothing else to do. 5. You feel emotionally drained. In a one-sided relationship, feeling emotionally drained is inevitable. You are constantly giving, whether it's love, time, support, or effort, without receiving the same energy in return. Over time, this imbalance takes a toll on your emotional well-being, leaving you exhausted, unfulfilled, and even questioning your own worth. Love should uplift you, but instead, you feel depleted because you're carrying the weight of the relationship alone. Emotional exhaustion comes from repeatedly trying to fix problems, seeking validation, or hoping they will change. You may find yourself overthinking their words and actions, analyzing whether you did something wrong, or adjusting your behavior just to please them. Yet, no matter how much you give, it never seems to be enough. The effort feels one-sided, and instead of feeling secure and appreciated, you feel anxious and emotionally neglected. A healthy relationship should provide comfort, support, and happiness, not constant stress and self-doubt. When someone truly cares, they won't leave you feeling drained. They will make sure you feel valued and emotionally safe. If you're always the one compromising, forgiving, or trying to keep the connection alive, it's a sign that the relationship is taking more from you than it's giving. Recognizing this pattern is important because love should never come at the cost of your emotional health. You deserve a relationship where your energy is matched, your feelings are considered, and your heart is nurtured rather than worn out. 6. They don't show interest in your life. In a one-sided relationship, a clear sign of emotional disconnection is when your partner shows little to no interest in your life. They don't ask about your day, your dreams, or how you're feeling. Conversations feel shallow, and when you share something important, they seem distracted, uninterested, or dismissive. Over time, this lack of engagement can make you feel invisible and unimportant, as if your thoughts and experiences don't matter to them. A loving partner naturally wants to know about your world, your passions, struggles, and daily experiences. But if they rarely ask questions or seem indifferent to your achievements and challenges, it signals a lack of emotional investment. You may find yourself excited to share something, only to receive a half-hearted response or a change of subject. Worse, when you need support, they might downplay your feelings or show little concern. Relationships thrive on mutual curiosity and emotional connection. When your partner doesn't take an active interest in your life, it creates distance and makes the relationship feel unbalanced. You deserve someone who listens, remembers the little details, and genuinely cares about your happiness. If you constantly feel unheard or overlooked, it may be time to question whether this relationship is truly fulfilling, or if you are investing in someone who isn't willing to invest in you. 7. You're always apologizing first. In a one-sided relationship, you may find yourself always being the one to apologize first, even when you're not at fault. Conflict is natural in any relationship, but when the responsibility of making peace always falls on you, it creates an unhealthy imbalance. You might feel pressured to say sorry just to avoid tension, even when your feelings were the ones hurt. This pattern can make you question your own emotions, as if you are always the problem, when in reality, a healthy relationship requires accountability from both sides. A loving and respectful partner should be willing to acknowledge their mistakes and take responsibility for their actions. If they refuse to apologize, dismiss your feelings, or make you feel guilty for addressing an issue, it may indicate emotional manipulation or a lack of care. Over time, always being the one to fix things can be emotionally exhausting, leaving you feeling unheard and undervalued. A relationship should be a partnership where both people work through conflicts together, rather than one person constantly taking the blame just to keep the peace. If you are always apologizing first while your partner never makes an effort to resolve issues, it may be time to reevaluate whether the relationship is truly balanced. You deserve to be with someone who respects your feelings, values open communication, and is willing to meet you halfway, instead of letting you carry the emotional burden alone. 8. They don't support your goals or dreams. In a one-sided relationship, a major red flag is when your partner doesn't support your goals or dreams. Instead of encouraging you to grow, they remain indifferent, dismissive, or even critical of your ambitions. When you share your aspirations, they may brush them off, change the subject, or fail to show any excitement. Over time, this lack of support can make you feel unimportant and discouraged, as if your dreams don't matter. A loving partner should be your biggest cheerleader, someone who believes in you and pushes you to reach your full potential. However, if they rarely ask about your progress, fail to celebrate your achievements, or make you feel like your goals are unrealistic, it may indicate a lack of emotional investment. Worse, some partners may even feel threatened by your success and try to hold you back instead of lifting you up. Being in a relationship should not mean sacrificing your dreams for the sake of keeping someone else comfortable. When your ambitions are consistently overlooked or minimized, it can create resentment and self-doubt. You deserve to be with someone who values your aspirations, supports your growth, and wants to see you succeed. A true partner stands by your side, not just when it's convenient for them, but because they genuinely want to see you happy and thriving. 9. You make excuses for their behavior. In a one-sided relationship, you may find yourself constantly making excuses for your partner's behavior. Whether they ignore your feelings, cancel plans, or treat you with indifference, you justify their actions instead of holding them accountable. You might tell yourself they're just busy, stressed, or not good at expressing emotions, even when their pattern of neglect is clear. Over time, this self-deception can make you overlook red flags and accept less than you deserve. Excusing their behavior often stems from a fear of confrontation or losing the relationship. You may downplay your own feelings, convincing yourself that things aren't as bad as they seem. Friends or family might point out their lack of effort, but you defend them, believing that deep down, they care. However, love is shown through actions, not just words or occasional gestures. If someone truly values you, they won't require constant justifications for their behavior. The more you excuse their actions, the more power you give them to continue treating you poorly. Instead of rationalizing their lack of effort, take a step back and evaluate whether they're truly invested in the relationship. A healthy relationship doesn't require making excuses. It thrives on mutual respect, effort, and emotional accountability. You deserve someone whose love and commitment are clear without needing to constantly explain away their shortcomings. They don't communicate openly with you. In a one-sided relationship, a major sign of imbalance is when your partner doesn't communicate openly with you. Healthy relationships thrive on honest and transparent communication, where both partners feel safe expressing their thoughts, feelings, and concerns. However, if your partner is distant, avoids deep conversations, or shuts down when issues arise, it can create emotional disconnection and leave you feeling unheard. Lack of open communication can manifest in different ways. They may give vague or one-word responses, dismiss your concerns, or refuse to discuss important topics altogether. You might feel like you're always the one initiating meaningful conversations while they remain emotionally closed off. When you try to express your feelings, they may become defensive, change the subject, or make you feel like you're overreacting. This kind of avoidance can make it difficult to resolve conflicts, leading to frustration and resentment. In a loving relationship, both partners should feel comfortable sharing their emotions without fear of being ignored or invalidated. If your partner consistently withholds their thoughts, hides their feelings, or refuses to engage in open discussions, it may be a sign that they are not as invested in the relationship as you are. Communication should be a two-way street, not something you have to fight for. You deserve a partner who listens, responds with honesty, and values open dialogue as a foundation for a strong and healthy connection. 11. Your needs and feelings are ignored. In a one-sided relationship, one of the most painful signs is when your needs and feelings are consistently ignored. A loving and healthy relationship is built on mutual care and respect, where both partners listen to and validate each other's emotions. However, if your partner repeatedly dismisses, downplays, or outright ignores how you feel, It can leave you feeling unimportant and unheard. You might notice that when you express sadness, frustration, or even excitement, they show little interest or fail to respond in a meaningful way. If you bring up concerns about the relationship, they may brush them off, accuse you of overreacting, or make you feel guilty for speaking up. This lack of emotional responsiveness can make you hesitant to share your thoughts, fearing that they will once again be met with indifference. Over time, constantly having your feelings ignored can lead to self-doubt, loneliness, and emotional exhaustion. A caring partner will acknowledge your emotions, even if they don't fully understand or agree with them. They will make an effort to listen, offer comfort, and work through issues together. If your needs are always pushed aside while you continue to prioritize theirs, it's a clear sign of imbalance. You deserve someone who not only hears you, but truly listens, someone who values your emotions and makes you feel seen, supported, and respected in the relationship. 12. They only reach out when they need something. In a one-sided relationship, your partner may only reach out when they need something from you. Whether it's emotional support, financial help, favors, or simply attention when they're bored, their communication feels transactional rather than genuine. You may notice that they go silent for long periods, but suddenly become responsive when they need assistance. This pattern can leave you feeling used rather than valued as an equal partner. A healthy relationship is built on mutual care, where both people check in, spend time together, and offer support without expecting something in return. However, when someone only contacts you when it benefits them, it shows a lack of emotional investment. They may not ask how you're doing, remember important details about your life, or make any effort to connect unless it serves their own needs. This can make the relationship feel empty and one-sided, as you realize that your presence matters only when it's convenient for them. Over time, this behavior can become emotionally draining, making you feel more like a resource than a cherished partner. You deserve a relationship where love, communication, and care flow naturally, not one where your worth is based on what you can provide. If they only reach out when they need something, it's time to question whether they truly value you, or if they're simply taking advantage of your kindness. 13. There's a lack of affection and intimacy. In a one-sided relationship, a noticeable lack of affection and intimacy can be a strong indicator that something is wrong. Physical and emotional closeness are essential in a healthy relationship, whether it's through hugs, kisses, meaningful conversations, or simple gestures of love. However, if your partner is distant, avoids physical contact, or rarely expresses affection, it may signal a deeper issue. You might find that they no longer hold your hand, make eye contact, or engage in intimate moments the way they once did. When you try to initiate affection, they may seem uninterested, distracted, or even annoyed. This emotional and physical withdrawal can make you feel rejected and unwanted, as if your presence no longer excites or comforts them. Affection is not just about physical closeness. It also includes emotional connection. If they rarely say kind words, show appreciation, or make you feel special, it can create a sense of loneliness, even when you're together. While every couple goes through phases where passion fluctuates, a consistent lack of intimacy and effort suggests a lack of emotional investment. A loving partner will make you feel cherished, whether through small, affectionate actions or meaningful conversations. If you constantly feel starved for affection while giving your all, it may be time to reassess whether your relationship is truly fulfilling, or if you are holding on to someone who no longer prioritizes your emotional and physical connection. 14. They don't make future plans with you. In a one-sided relationship, your partner's reluctance to make future plans with you is a clear sign of emotional disengagement. When someone truly values a relationship, they naturally include their partner in their future, whether it's short-term plans like an upcoming event or long-term commitments such as moving in together or discussing life goals. However, If your partner avoids these conversations or keeps things vague, it may indicate that they don't see the relationship as a lasting priority. You might notice that they hesitate when you bring up future trips, celebrations, or even simple weekend plans. They may change the subject, give non-committal answers, or express uncertainty about where they see things going. This can leave you feeling insecure, as though you are the only one invested in building something meaningful. Over time, their unwillingness to plan ahead can create a sense of instability, making you wonder if they're intentionally keeping their options open. A healthy relationship involves mutual effort in shaping the future together. Even if they aren't ready for serious commitments, a caring partner will still show enthusiasm about spending time with you and making memories. If they consistently avoid planning ahead or seem indifferent about where the relationship is going, it may be time to consider whether they truly envision you as part of their future, or if you're the only one holding on to the idea of one. You feel lonely, even when you're with them. One of the most heartbreaking signs of a one-sided relationship is feeling lonely, even when you're with your partner. A relationship should provide emotional connection, warmth, and a sense of belonging. However, if you often feel isolated, unheard, or emotionally disconnected despite being physically together, it's a sign that something is missing. You might notice that conversations feel forced or surface level, with little effort from them to engage in meaningful discussions. They may seem distracted, uninterested, or more focused on their phone, work, or other activities rather than being present with you. Even during shared moments, there's a noticeable emotional distance, making you feel more like a background presence than an important part of their life. Loneliness in a relationship can be even more painful than being alone because it highlights the absence of true companionship. You may crave their attention, affection, or deeper connection, but no matter how much effort you put in, it feels like they are emotionally unavailable. This can lead to frustration, sadness, and self-doubt, as you wonder why they don't seem as invested as you are. A loving partner should make you feel valued, heard, and emotionally fulfilled. If you constantly feel lonely, despite being in a relationship, it's a sign that the emotional connection isn't mutual. You deserve someone who genuinely wants to be present with you, listens to you, and makes you feel seen and cherished, rather than alone in their presence.